Hi, this is an update for the progress of this tree. It is July 2017. I started this project in the summer of 2014, so it's been 3 years. It was collected the year prior, 2013, and in the area of Southern California by a member of the Vietnamese community in Orange County. Which I will not name unless they want me to. Now, this tree is very bulky. It's about 1.2 meters tall, maybe 1.2 meters across too. That's very heavy and difficult to move. Let me go over some points on this tree. Here is the only lifeline that survived collection here, and it passes through the body of the tree, underneath this giant piece of deadwood, which was a giant trunk at one point, and coming out the back over here on this side. Now, I got this tree for very cheap, at least in my opinion. It's under $5,000. I thought it had fantastic deadwood, and the reason it was cheap was because the only branch that survived was here, and it came out this way, probably about 3.5 feet. So the only green on this whole tree was here, but obviously the front of the tree is on this side. So that's why it was so cheap, because it came out this way, maybe out about to here. You'll see on the old video. I'll try to find it. So I had to bend that, correct the structure of this tree. So it's been bent back, and it's been growing very well for the last 2.5 years or 3 years. Also, since the beginning of the project, the tree's been carved. It took me about 2 weeks to carve it, and let me explain a couple things. Like, for example, this part probably started about 4 inches in diameter as a tube, a solid tube, and just chainsawed off here. So just imagine a giant pipe cut off. So I've resolved all the tips on this tree, at least to my satisfaction, and I think it looks nice, the deadwood. Now, this was another pipe. It's another giant tube. Hollowed it out to give it an old feel. And I've resolved all the points. Like some of these used to be pipes also. Turns out that near the tips, a lot of these things had like little crane heads, so I'm gonna call this tree paper cranes. It's kind of the anti-name, like antimatter, because the tree's so chunky, but I think it's a nice name. It's cute. Gives it like sort of a balancing effect. Now, let's see, the last funny thing is, or the only funny thing, besides the cheapness of the tree, is this tip. Now, this tip has been broken off like 3 or 4 times. It's very important to me. It creates the bow where most of the green is going to rest in this tree. So it's very important to frame this tree with it. Last time it was broken off, I don't know who did it, and they threw away the tip to cover up the evidence. So I had to manufacture a piece. So it's about maybe 6 inches long right now. It's a little long, but I can't control the breakage that well at the mating area. So there we have it. It will change the same color as the rest of the deadwood with time and age. Now, the next step of this tree would be wiring it. I think I got to make the pads, make the initial structure of the branches. I think I overcooked it a little bit, let it grow maybe about 3 or 4 months too long. It's getting a little thick and a little more difficult to manage, but it's always a trade-off. It's stronger, so it should be fine, but it'll be more difficult, the work, I mean. So, and then in this winter, if they make the pot right in China, I will throw it in a pot. And it should look pretty fantastic, I think. All right, that's the update. It's July 2017.